Hey guys, it's me, Boog.
And Dad.
And today we're going to be reviewing
Well, what you're looking at here, it's not much to see here, but this is the actual
there
shipping
you go.
container.
The Star Wars Vintage Collection, The Ghost.
Yes, the Ghost, the Haslab project. Of course, like Boog said, in the VC that was released late last year. The pre-orders actually went out, 18 months ago. It come out around December, and yeah, we realized it's April, but we finally got ours, and we're ready for the review.
Finally.
So just want to give you an idea of, this is the external shipping box that it comes in. Once you open it up, it's a box in a box deal, which is great. So you have another box here, and then I think the original box, which should be absolutely amazing looking, should be under here. So it looks like they've done a real good job protecting it. These are just going to pop out like that, and then yeah, you can kind of see down there, that's going to be this box. So just wanted to show you that. We're going to keep diving in. All right, so now you can see you've kind of got the box in a box out. This one obviously is in much better shape, and this is just the outer shipping box. And you can see why they do this, because of all the damage it takes during shipping, especially if it gets shipped multiple times. But anyway, so you have the outer box here, and it is pristine, looks amazing. That's what we'll be keeping our box in, so the real box doesn't get damaged. And here it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Get where you can see it. But yeah, Star Wars, Ahsoka, The Ghost. Yes. Of course, the packaging, and this is going to be amazing. Awesome, beautiful black and white print of what it's going to look like. And I'll tell you right now, guys, this thing is heavy. This is definitely the heaviest ship we have ever purchased. And of course, like I said, we have quite a few super large scale Falcon, super large scale Walker. Yeah. Jabba Sail Barge, that was Haslab.
The Razor Crest.
This guy takes the cake. It definitely, I'm not sure about size, but weight, this thing is heavy, no doubt. All right, stay tuned.
And we're back with the Ghost out of the box.
Yes, so here he is.
Almost.
Yes. Out of the shipping boxes, I guess I'll say. Here's the outer one, of course. Sorry, we're in our woodworking shop, so it's kind of a mess out here. Yeah, there's the other one that I'm going to keep this one in.
This is where all the craft stuff happens.
Yeah, this is where it goes down, the sign shop. But anyway, we're not here to talk about sign shops. This is...
Make sure to check out Creations by Identity, linked in our About section.
Boog's promo. This is the Haslab, The Ghost, Star Wars, Ahsoka. So, I guess they oddly enough, based it from the TV show and not the cartoon, which of course that's where it's prominently figured out is the Rebels cartoon show or TV show. But yeah, I guess for whatever reason, I know it was also in the show too, but this is what they said to go with. So that was kind of strange, but maybe they think that's what people are more familiar with. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just thrilled.
I guess.
Yeah, we got The Ghost. If you've never seen the Rebels TV show, you definitely need to watch that. It's great. Absolutely awesome. And then, of course, like you said, as you can see here, is we got the full tiers were all unlocked, I guess what I'm trying to say here. So that means that not only did we get the Ghost, I think the Phantom down there was going to come with it anyway, but we got all these figures. So we have a Zeb, bad with all their names here, Kanan, and then we have, of course, help me out, Boog. Hera, and of course Ezra. So that's going to be our 4 pack-in figures, which pretty much is the Ghost except for Chomper. We'll just point out, I don't think we're going to get Chomper. I think we have him in the VC here somewhere. I think I pre-ordered him anyway. These are the figures that we already have that are open from the VC.
So reviews may or may not be on the channel.
Yeah, I don't think these have gone up yet. But, of course, there's Zeb there, and I think it's probably going to be the same figure, I had to guess. And then... same thing with Hera, and then we also have over here, of course.
Well, Hera may not, because the Hera we're going to get in this is going to be based off of the Rebels, while the one we have is based off of Ahsoka.
Oh, you're right. So a little more, I guess, realistic versions down here. These will be the more cartoon versions. Good idea. I didn't even notice that. So it's weird. You got the figures from the Rebels show, but the ship from the Ahsoka show. Very strange. And I guess that's why they released these, because they're based more on like what actually goes with the ship. Okay. Hey, great decision, Hasbro, because that pretty much makes everybody have to buy them all, right?
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, we're about to dive into this. The Ghost Haslab, and like I said, I am super, super excited. Like I said, this is a very heavy ship. I can't wait to get out of the box and see what it looks like. I think it's going to be huge. Of course, like I said, we'll put it together off camera, give you an idea of how that went, and then of course show you and get some measurements, dimensions, so you can see exactly how big this thing is, comparisons, all that fun stuff. It's gonna be a really fun video to do. I'm totally excited. It might take us a day or two to get through it all, but we will do it. But I'm just right now, I'm gonna get all angles of the box.
And we are probably inevitably going to just miss things, probably.
Oh, of course. So much to go over, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, and there it is there, just a nice black and white.
For the sketch.
Yeah, sketch on the back. Which we get from, you know, VC and held over from the old Kenner days, but absolutely love it. This is going to be spectacular. And a shot at the top here. I'm going to pull it to the front so you guys can kind of see. This is how it's all going to look once you have all the characters in there. So there she is with the Ghost. With the Phantom. There they are seated up front. There's Sabine, which I know we have Sabine. We didn't bring her out here, but I know we have her. We'll need to go and find all these folks. There's Chomper. I know we got him too. So we can kind of get everybody together, get them where they belong in their ship. So, but amazing.
Then what we'll probably do for the figures is we'll take them into our review space and then do the review there.
Absolutely. All right, sounds great. Well, let's get into it, guys.
Be right back. Okay.
All right, so there's the sail barge. Sorry, such a hot mess, but this is kind of it. Next to the barge. I don't know if that kind of gives you any kind of an idea of what kind of shot Boo can get there, the size. But yeah, this thing is massive. All right.
Now on to our other comparisons.
All right, we're back, and I think we're finally ready to review this guy after unpackaging and assembling. We'll let Boo talk about that as we're filming the video, though. First thing I want to start off with is the pack ends. So this thing did reach all of its tiers, you know, how they do these Haslab things. So you got everything they offered included, which is basically these extra figures here, or figures. Yeah, and here they are. So you get this nice little case, and you're going to get... of course, here is Zeb and Kanan, Ezra, and Hera. Of course, these are all based on the Rebels TV show, so they're all kind of the cartoon version. So they are slightly different. We'll prop them up here so we can get a better look. We prop them up there, Boog. And we got some comparisons we can do here, which will be lots of fun. So here is, I guess we'll start off here with Hera. This is her vintage collection figure. And there she is. You can kind of see what she looks like there for the cartoon version and the VC version. It kind of depends, you know, on your personal taste as far as what you like. And here's Zeb. Turn his head around here. And VC.
And I think I gotta say that the Haslab's head sculpt is much better.
Cartoon. Yeah. I don't remember Zeb smiling a whole lot, but they gave him a big grin, it looks like, on this one. And then...
well, better than his eyes nearly popping out of his head.
There's Kanan. Which you're going to get it'll swap out the head. Ezra, and he's going to come with one of those little wolves. No, the little rabbit guy. I can't remember his name.
It's Baggins.
Yes, we'll call him Baggins.
Call him Baggins.
And then slide him out of the way. I'll kind of show you the back. So Zeb is going to be Haslab 006, and that's how they differentiate these figures so that you know which ones come from the Haslab and which ones came from All right, so just to finish this up here, I had to bring these guys indoors, so we got a little rain since we were outside, and of course, the card bags here, we can't risk that getting wet. So,
the possible Superstars return.
Yeah, we're in the middle of filming a Superstars episode 2, so the table's a little messy in here, but I just want to show you. So you just saw these. We showed them to you on the video earlier. So this is all the pack-ins, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the figures, and what I kind of want to show you guys is the rest of the Vintage Collection Haslab series. So, we'll start with the first one. So this is the packing guy with the sail barge. Of course, this is Jack Face, and he is VC000. So we began with him way back with the sail barge. Then we went to the Razor Crest has 001. So instead of going
This is
BC,
where
they
it
changed
is.
it.
Yeah.
Right. So we have 00 and of course 01.
Please forgive us. We do not have
Number one.
We do not have protectors for them yet.
It's
For this one
Grogu.
yet.
Yeah, I've got the protectors on the way today because he definitely's got to get in one. So number 1 is Grogu. And then we have number 2, also with the Razor Crest, is of course the Jawa, eating his really gross stuff out of his eggs. Yeah, and then the ones we showed you yesterday. So basically 0, 1, 2, and then 3.
Yesterday in our time, just a few minutes ago at their
Right.
time.
3. Ezra is 4. Kanan is 5. And complete the collection, 6. As we have, of course, good old
I don't know
Zeb.
I don't know if I got hair really good, so
Yeah, here's
So
Hera's,
number again,
and she's
there you
number 3. So yeah. So anyway, like I said, for the complete collection, just want to show you guys that 0, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6 here. All right, let's get to the ghost. That looks good. All right,
we're here.
yes, we're back with the completed and assembled Ghost Haslab. Dun dun dun. Yeah, it's I mean, first impressions, I'm gonna let you guys decide as you take a look here. We'll catch it from all the angles, but my first impression is, I mean, it's amazing. It's everything that I wanted it to be. I'm really, really happy with the purchase. You know, that's what these things, you order them and they don't really come out till like a year and a half, almost 2 years later. So it's hard to remember the price. But I want to say this guy was, I mean, he's one of the biggest ones they've done. He was at least, what, 400?
I don't know.
It's about what they go for. You know, it's a $400 worth of, you know, material here, goods. You know, I don't know. It's hard to say. It kind of just depends on, I guess, you know, the purchaser, what is it's worth to you. Me personally, yeah. I mean, I think so. This is a really, really large ship. The details are absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. Everything looks perfect. It's, like I said, huge, absolutely ginormous. Gonna get the tape measure out here in a second and give you full dimensions, but right now I just want you to get a chance to look at it. Of course, this is the Phantom. It's a separate piece. It just pops out. We'll show you that later. But it, you know, when he goes in there, you know, here's a little chopper. It does, like I said, kind of complete the ship. It kind of gives that little wing fin on the back, which is really, really cool. The paint work is awesome. I love the yellows. Kind of mixed in with the reds, just really, really awesome looking, you know, for sure. Underneath here, not as much detail, but it still looks nice. Got the landing gear down there, straight from the bottom, and, you know, just very, very Star Wars, you know, looking. So now I'm going to switch and give you a view of the other side. All right, so here's the other side of the ship, and kind of get a good look at it.
Yeah, as most ships are, it's kind of the exact same.
Yeah, pretty symmetrical. Same on the other side. Look at the detail in the thrusters though here. I mean, the rear is very, very impressive. These things are huge, and kind of look at it from the back side. Super detailed. I mean, they just look absolutely amazing. Did such a good job with this. Like I said, there it is from the back. Kind of see you've got some yellow down in there to kind of give it look like it's got that thruster thing going on. And then all that great detail on the back of the ship, back behind the thrusters there, also just make it look super, super realistic. I think they just nailed it. Did an absolutely amazing job with this. It is very, very cool. You know, and like I said, you know, as far as whether it's worth, you know, what they're charging, that's just kind of, you know, up to the purchaser, I guess. You know, yes, I mean, I've been around in collecting for a long, long time. You know, like I said, they used to build ships, you know, close to this size and sell them at retail. And they obviously were not $400, more like, you know, $150 to $200 range back then. And then they stopped, you know, and stopped for a very, very long time, over a decade. And then Haslab was born and they started doing them again, but just in this format. A good example of that is the giant Falcon over there. I think originally when it came out, it was called the Legacy Falcon. And that was around 2008 or so. And of course, it was the biggest, most detailed Falcon they had built at the time. And of course, this is it,
This is
but
the re-release.
it was re-released around the time that the Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out. And Hasbro doesn't do that very often, but they re-released the ship, and it was, I think, a Target exclusive, so I was able to pick it up then.
Actually,
and
no, this one, I think it was closer to The Last Skywalker.
Okay, yeah, one of the new movies, that time frame is when it came out, and it's also a very awesome ship, like I said. But its original, it was original mold design was back in 2008. Really, the only thing they did with this is update the paint job on it, and you got a few other pack-ins that you didn't get with the original. But it's awesome, and because it is awesome, and they had not done anything like this in over a decade. The prices for this guy on eBay were astronomical. If you didn't have one, you didn't catch one in 08. They were going for close to $1,000 on eBay easily. But that's kind of like I said, just a comparison of what they used to do. And like I said, they would sell this originally at all the stores, Walmart. I'm sure Toys R Us was probably the big thing back then, and you would get this for no more than $200 back then. But again, that's early 2000s money. This is 2025 money. So for $450, whatever this thing costs, I mean, it's again, it's just going to be up to you whether you think it's worth it or not. I will say I've noticed that on eBay, the market for these, at least when they're relatively new, like this just come out like around Christmas time.
Me and DNR side, it's already going for about like 1,000.
Some places, but other sellers have them for closer to 500, which isn't much of a markup at all with free shipping.
True.
So as it kind of tells me, they that they're still out there. You can get one of these complete if you want to. If you're willing to spend that $500, and that's not much of a markup because you got to think by the time eBay takes their fees out. And then they pay to ship this beast. They're not making hardly anything at all. So that just means they're having trouble selling them, for them to mark them down that least. They're just trying to basically get their money back. So that kind of tells you that, they, at least with this particular ship, the market had kind of been maxed out, I think, with just the people that pre-order this, Now, of course, a lot of people do pre-order them to resell. But I think a lot of people probably got bit on the cheeks with this one a little bit, just because that demand doesn't seem to really be there. Now, what the demand is for, the figures. Yeah. So if you're willing to, pop it apart and sell out the figures, now they go for about $100 each, but that's the way it is with all of these things. The Haslabs anyway, you have so many people out there who are diehard figure collectors, they'll pay out for those figures. And if you just wanted the ship, then you can get one without the figures for, $200 or $300, depending on what you want. So there is an option too. Just look on eBay, Mercari, all that stuff there. It's all out there if you're looking for it. Now, who knows? Like I said, this thing's only been out 3 or 4 months. So, 5 years, 10 years down the line, I'm sure the value will go up and up. I don't know if it'll ever reach sell barge value. That thing is worth a ton right now. But Razor Crest, same thing. Razor Crest never really blew up. It's still you can still get it on there for about what it cost, about the $350, maybe $100 more on eBay. And I think the thing with these two ships is they're not the iconic ships. Sail Barge iconic, Falcon's iconic. These are newer ships made for newer shows. So I think you don't have that. You're not pulling from that fan base of the originals.
And also the fact that the Razor Crest got blew up.
And the Razor Crest didn't even make it past the first season.
Second season.
Did he come back, right? Yeah, something like that.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, we can ramble on and on and on. Let's get into the cockpit and all that stuff. Give us just a second. We're going to open it up and, let you know what that looks like. All right, we're back. So we've kind of got it popped apart here so you can see some of the interior. We'll start with the cockpit first. Here is the cockpit. Of course, like you said, just removes like that. And inside here, you've got lots of seats. Lots of room for everybody. So Boog has got here up here working the gunner. Normally she'd be the pilot. So I think one of these seats is usually hers. I'm not sure if it's the blue or that one. And then we have 2 more seats in the back there. So the whole entire crew can actually fit in here, which is amazing.
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure, does this pop off, Boog? Or I was just kind of wondering how you reach the back seats.
All right, let's see.
It does.
Yes.
So that's how you get to everything. Okay, so one final panel. Like I said, there it is. That pops off, and then that's how you can kind of get to everything. I was like, we've got like stuff going on in here. So
things me and Dad haven't even discovered
yeah,
yet.
so here's how you get everybody in there. They've even got kind of a mock ladder that goes downstairs, which is super cool. And there's some more of the details on the inside. Looks absolutely amazing. So yeah, you can get everybody in here. The chairs actually spin. So cool. And like I said, there's here again up front. And then you kind of can make your walk all the way back. This is awesome. You can kind of pose Ezra right here coming up, like from the lower level. There is no lower level, but I do love that they added that in there.
So we know of.
Here we have the bunk beds, which is great. That's showed in the cartoon a lot. So you've got 2 bunk beds here with the little ladder. Absolutely amazing. See those back in there. And some little thingies here. Another ladder over this way. I'm not sure what this is. Looks kind of like drill press or something. Probably do some repairs. And some other things down there. This may be the refrigerator. And then the third and final room.
Neighbors' dogs are going crazy.
Yes, we have the picnic table. Gotta have the picnic table. Now it moves around, so nothing actually holds it down. But Professor Hyang is hanging back there, having some snacks. A little desk here, which is very cool. A weird, very wore out seat, which I love. Love how that looks. And it kind of goes there in the corner, a little chair. Some more refrigerators there. And of course, the chess bench with chess game, which required, I think, every Star Wars ship. Yes. This is tied down. That comes out. And the seats, you can actually move them around to position the guys on there. Little stainage on the floor. Love how they did that. It's not perfect. It's not clean. Looks really, really good. Kind of similar outside. You can see all kind of the details here. They kind of made it look, you know, a bit worn and dirty, Star Wars-ish, but not too overly done. So I think that looks really nice. But that's kind of it for the interior. So we'll get it put back together here, and then we'll show you the Phantom next. And one final little thing here, which is kind of part of the interior. If you can look closely, you got Zeb in there and the turret gun. And this just pops out. And of course, we're back where we were earlier on the inside. Slide that in here. And it's really cool about the turret gun. So yeah, is Zeb, you can see Zeb is in here. Hi Zeb, ready to kick some Empire cheeks. But what I was saying is that you have this little slide here. I'm not going to do it while he's in there, but it slides this up and down, and it moves that seat up and down, so you can have room for Zeb, because he would, you know, with it all the way up, he wouldn't fit in here. So you can move it up for like a shorter figure like Ezra, or lower it for a taller figure like Zeb. So I thought it was really awesome they thought about that, and the turret just slides in like that. And really, you can see this is what it looks like here without the Phantom, and we're going to go over that next. And I think that'll just about wrap us up on the Ghost here. So yeah, here we are with the Phantom, and this is actually a great little ship in its own right. They did an amazing job with it too, I think. There's Chomper kind of hanging out the side. Beep, boop, 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 boop. He does move, and I'll have Boog.
Pop him out, I think.
It's actually come out? No way.
Yep, so if you don't want him in there, you can take him out.
Oh, well, yeah, he's not a full Chomper, but yeah, plug him back in. All right, stick him in there, Boog. All right, and then just kind of turn it around here. And there's the back. All the paint looks excellent, of course.
I think the reason why you'd want to take it off is like if you have hit Chomper actually in the ship.
Yeah, love how it has the Rebels here. Logo on the side. All the kind of metal kind of shown in the middle, and just a really cool design for a ship. And of course, this is called the Phantom. And then on the bottom, it looks like this. There's the landing gear. I'm gonna let Boog open that up for you and show you how that works. Just real easy pop outs there, and it looks like that, of course, when he's landed. And of course, like I said, if you're a fan of the Rebels TV show, you saw the crew of the Ghost do lots and lots of missions with the Phantom. You know, Ghost would kind of hang back in space, off the planet a lot of times, and then the Phantom is what got them to the planet and out of all these adventures. So yeah, really great show, really great ship. I love this. So nice. Even has the yellow, yeah, for the thrusters. Yeah, excuse the noisy neighbors there. They like to ride go-karts around here. All right, Boog, let's take a look on the inside there of the Phantom. So So just one little cockpit opens up like that, and let's kind of see what it looks like in there. And of course your figure will just slide right in and ready to go adventuring, right, Boog?
Yes.
All right, Chomper, good work. All right, and then I'll let Boog show you how the Phantom actually attaches. It's more like he kind of slides and then he sits down on these. And there's not a button or anything, right, Boog? You just pull him out, basically.
You kind of just peg it in.
That holds him in there pretty securely. And then you just pop him out when you're ready to play. And of course, like I said, I love how it actually completes, kind of gives the ghost its little wing there on the back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, like I said, that's about it as far as the ghost is concerned. Just give you a quick look at the other things that we have. Like, this is pretty much the, I guess the highlights of our collection, at least in my opinion. And of course, it's the bigger vehicles for me. I just love the bigger vehicles. Of course, Ghost we've just seen. Back here is the Legacy Walker, again from the early 2000s. It came out about the same time the original Legacy Falcon did. Just an awesome, awesome piece. They have not re-released it, so he is the original one. And then, of course, Legacy Falcon back there, which came out, I don't know, what, 4 years ago or so, something like that.
Yeah.
And then Haslab Razor Crest here, of course, in all his glory. Dun, dun, dun.
And editing Boog will hopefully insert the sail barge comparison here.
Yeah, sail barge was a little too big to drag out here, and as you can see, we wouldn't have room even on this table at all. And I love this kind of moment because I don't get too much time to. There's not too often where we get to get these big ships together, because obviously just because of space. So to have everybody together here at one time is awesome. In our Star Wars room, they're all in separate, places. So this is really cool looking. Like I said, the Falcon is amazing. Also, we kind of showed it to you earlier. Another look at the Legacy Walker. And all of these should be on the channel for review. Just a lot of them are several years old.
Walker is, I don't think.
We missed the Walker somehow. Well, we definitely need to get him done.
I think he was one of those ones where we already had him, so we just didn't review him.
Yeah, even though he's totally different. Right.
Yeah.
But, and then I was going to show you this too. The review will come up shortly, but this just released we just got it in, last week. And of course, another figure from Ahsoka, and that's going to be the new Sabine with the Howler. So I'm looking forward to that one. That should be really cool. She'll look great in the Falcon. I mean, in the Falcon, in the Ghost as well. But yeah, like I said, just kind of wanted to show you to give you basically just size comparisons. So you can see the Ghost with the Legacy Walker, kind of how it sizes up. And of course with move Razor Crest a little bit more. Kind of see how he sizes up with the Razor Crest there. And then, yeah, that looks pretty good, Boog. Kind of got them all in that shot. And then if you can move Razor Crest, Boog, and slide Falcon in, we can get him a little closer. Probably get a good shot there. Probably what most people want to see is, how he measures up with the Falcon. Just set him in the floor, Boog. We don't want to take any spillages with these. Yeah, he can just go on the floor. That works. All right, and here comes the Falcon. Falcon looks a little wonky because I don't have the landing gear. I kind of packed it away because we store him on a shelf kind of sideways. I think it's so huge, it's hard to do it any other way. But this guy I'm going to have to put on a table because I don't think storing him sideways is going to be practical. Possible, yes, but he's very, very deep, a lot deeper than the Falcon. So, and plus, like I said, I don't think he would still look pretty nice sideways. See what I can figure out. I don't know how this is going to work out yet. But anyhow, yeah, so there's Falcon, Legacy Falcon, and the Ghost. And I would say the Ghost is a little bit bigger than Legacy Falcon. Just a little bit wider and a little bit longer too, especially with those huge thruster booster engines there on the back for sure. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it all boils down. Let me grab that tape measure, give you some exact measurements, and we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
All right, so everybody's going to get some quick measurements, and we'll be done.
So let's see. So from the bottom to the top of the fin is right about probably 14.5 inches.
All right, so we're going to say 14 inches tall with the landing gear. If you take that off, it'd be a little bit shorter.
And then
I'll hold this for you,
then
length to
in.
length. Of course, you know, these aren't exact. We're just kind of getting you roughly close here so you can have an idea for yourself if you need to know.
Probably just over 35 inches.
This guy is literally almost 3 foot long. Yeah, that's long. And then wide.
Wide.
I'm going to call that about 30. So about 30 inches wide.
Probably closer to 29.
Okay. There we go. Now let's do Falcon. Just for the comparison there.
For the record, I don't get paid enough for this.
Of course you do. You're the chief measurer. Our viewers want to know.
So Falcon, 30 inches.
All right.
Then wide is about almost 22 and a half inches.
Okay. Yeah, so Ghost is
And
much
then,
bigger.
I guess we got probably somewhere about 8 inches, somewhere in there.
And if you had his landing gear on him, then you could add about
If you
another
want
2
more,
inches.
I guess, accurate,
So.
you can go back and watch the Falcon review.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, but like I said, I think that's going to wrap it up here for the Haslab Vintage Collection Ghost, ship. I had a fun. This review was great. Like I said, I do love the ship. It is amazing. I love all these pieces. Like I said, these bigger jumbo pieces, they're just awesome to me. So like I said, obviously love having the collection. And don't forget about the sail barge. He is downstairs. And I think he's definitely still the biggest ship as far as length goes. Sail barge is a little over 4 feet long. And he's also pretty tall too, because there's 2 levels to him, plus the top level. So he's still the biggest. He was the first, but he is the biggest still. And I have to say, if I had to choose, he's still probably my favorite. But that's just me. It's something about just that classic sail barge is just awesome. But I love all these, which is why they're in the collection. I guess if I had to rank them, how would you rank them, Boog? What are you thinking? Just got old Razy down there. But tough, right? So we say we got 5 ships that are all pretty all absolutely awesome.
You know what? This is a video idea for a different video.
Hey, come on, just give us a rough estimate. Come on, this is not that hard. You know all 5 you're thinking about. What do you think?
Well, technically,
All right, just give us your top 2. You don't have to do top 5.
if you want to be tactical here, the Falcon doesn't count as a Haslab.
Nope, I'm not saying Haslab, just saying large ships.
Okay, well then that would probably add in a few other things then. So we got the frog guy from downstairs. He'd probably count as that.
Frog guy? What?
From
What are we talking about?
From the clones.
Oh, yeah.
into that,
Yeah, several
yeah.
of those would. You're right. Yes. They definitely would.
So from what we kind of have here, I guess, probably favorite.
Boo can't do it. He cannot decide.
It might have to be the Walker from the selection we have here.
Okay, Boog loves the Walker, and that is a great
classic
piece.
Walker.
Yes, great piece.
Me and Dad had many battles back in the day revolving around that.
Oh, absolutely. And and that's kind of the thing too. They were cheaper, and with the Falcon and with the Walker, those legacy vehicles, you got back in the day they were still doing electronics in them. And they did electronics in them back in the 70s. My original Walker from Return of the Jedi downstairs takes C batteries, and it had electronics, made the sounds, and the turrets lit up, all that kind of thing. And of course, like I said, that's something they quit doing, I'm sure, again, to save money. Even with these Haslabs, most of them do not have electronics. Razor Crest has nothing. Ghost has no electronics, just so you know that.
Yeah.
But like I said,
But I don't think the Sail Barge is anything.
Sail Barge has no electronics, but Legacy Walker does. He's stacked full of electronics, all kinds of cool stuff. I'll try to review him if we haven't done that yet, so you can check him out. Especially if this Ghost video does halfway decent. And same thing with Falcon. It's absolutely
I think my ranking with
full of electronics.
I think my ranking with everything here would probably be Walker, Razor Crest, Ghost, Falcon, probably.
Okay.
For me.
Got it. Yeah. Yep. And, for me, like I said, I would Sail Barge, Falcon, Walker. They edge it out because it's electronics to me. I really do appreciate those efforts. And then Ghost, and then Razor Crest probably the last for me. But that's kind of what I'm thinking, you know. But like I said, I love all these vehicles. They're all great.
Well, for me, I kind of hate the electronics in the Falcon because sometimes it just go off and never be quiet.
Yeah, he does.
Ever.
He doesn't really have a good on or off button, you know, because everything is just press the button and boom, there it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he does talk to us a lot randomly in the room by himself.
Yes.
I think just saying, hey, come play with me.
Yes.
But anyway, and that really seems to disturb Big in some ways.
It disturbs all of us, except you, apparently.
Right.
Dad is very biased.
Yeah. I like when he talks to me. I talk back. But anyhow, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. It was a lot of fun doing. Really enjoyed it. Now I got to put all this stuff back. No.
Yes.
But take care, everyone, and we will see you, like I said, very, very soon on the next one.
Like, subscribe, everyone. And by the way, just thanks to everybody that made it all the way to this point in the video.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, a Star Wars vintage collection collector, then yeah, you should have been all over this because all of this is right up your alley for sure.
But still, just listening to us ramble on, ramble on for this amount of time.
I know. Big wants to start a podcast, so the people are really going to have to just literally hear us do nothing but ramble on.
Yeah,
sure,
that was your idea.
All right,
that was totally your idea. But make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
Everyone.